Hi all. So today we'll be discussing about shallow copy and deep copy. So we often come into situations in programming where the variables are immutable. That is, they cannot be changed. So either the value cannot be updated or the new properties cannot be added. And to get out of this situation, either we copy or clone those objects and do the necessary changes. I mean, either we update the values or add some new properties, and then we send to whatever function that actually updates the object. And for these reasons, copying techniques are the favorite interview topics. So today we'll see what are the techniques through which we can shallow copy or deep copy the objects. And just to tell you that copy and cloning are almost analogous thing. So I'll be using copy or cloning interchangeably. Okay. So I'll be taking this object as an example where we have an object. We have a channel name property with the value of Rohit Kumar. We have a name property with a nested object as the first name as Rohit and last name as Kumar. Now we have a videos length property which says, okay, how many what is the lengths of the video in minutes that I have uploaded. So 10, 34, 12 minutes and 45 minutes. Okay, this is just a sample object which we will be using to see how we can clone it or how we can copy it. Okay, so we'll make a variable cloned object and we'll assign the value as object. And this is nothing but we are assigning object to cloned object. Now let's print to see what exactly is there in the original object, and we'll print the cloned object. We'll save it and we'll run it. Okay, so that's correct, right? We have a Rohit channel name and videos length property in the object. That's fine, and we have the exact same properties in the cloned object. But hold on, can we manipulate a cloned object? So let's do one thing. Cloned object dot channel name will be something like JS interview. Okay, and we'll save it and we'll run it again. So you see, in original object, the JS interview channel name has been updated. That means we are changing the original object, and definitely we don't want this, right? So this is not the correct way, and why it happened is because here we are just assigning. That means we are using the reference of object. So cloned object is not a copy or a clone, instead it's a reference. Okay, so the same object can be referenced by this two names, that is object and cloned object, and that's why the changes are reflecting to a central place. So even though we are printing two times in the memory, it just exists at one place. Now we'll comment it. So let's see what is the other approach we can use. So we'll use the spread operator. Okay, and this is spread operator. Now what it does is it inflates the object property name and value and construct a new object and then assign this value through the assignment operator to cloned object. Okay, now let's see if it works. We'll save this and we will clean the console and we will run. Okay, so I guess it is working, right? Because the first one is an object, so you can see channel name of Rohit Kumar is intact in the original object, and the name, videos length, everything is intact, but the channel name in the cloned object is changed as per we wanted. But hold on, here is a problem. Even though the channel name is changed in the cloned object, but if we'll try changing the name of the first name of cloned object as something like JS. Okay, we'll save this, and again if we will try to run this, you see it says in the original object, the first one is original object, in the original object the first name is JS. Why it happened like this? Because spread operator only works for the immediate childs. So this Rohit Kumar is a string, is a primitive data type. Okay, but the name has the value that is an object. The video's length has a value that is an object. Array is an object, right? So in that case, if there is a nested object inside an object, so if we will use the spread operator, all the nested objects, remember objects are referenced, meaning the channel name will be a copy, but this name will be referenced. That means this block will exist in a single place, and this will be referenced as object.name, also cloned object.name. And that is why if we will change this name, the first name property in cloned object, it will reflect in the object. And just to demonstrate, if I'll try adding let's say some values to video length, okay, I'll add some dirty value as negative. So I'll save it and I will run it, and you see there is a negative value in the duplicate object and in the original object. Again, this is not what we wanted, so I will comment it out, and let's see what is the other option that we have for copying objects. So there is one more approach as to Object.assign. Now how it works, so Object.assign takes the object, okay, the first object is the target object in which we want to add some properties, okay, and the source objects are the one from which we want to paste the values, key value pair to this target object. So here we can have object 1, we can have object 2, like we can have n number of objects, and all the properties of those objects will be added to this target object. Okay, now the target object in our case, we want it to be empty, right? We want the fresh, all the contents of this object to be pasted in a blank object, right? So we will write Object.assign and we'll use the empty object, and we want the properties of obj, okay, to be pasted, to be copied in this new object. So we'll try to save this, and I'll clean the console and I'll run it. Now again you see we did two things here. We changed the channel name, that is the string property, string value, right? That is a primitive data type, but this first name is a nested object, and you see JS is reflecting here as well as here, and same goes for this negative value in the video's length property. So that means through Object.assign also we can only shallow copy the objects. And what it means by shallow copy is that only the immediate child with the values as primitive data type will be having a copy of it. The rest, the nested object values, will be referenced, and that is the reason in Object.assign also, even though we are changing in cloned object, the changes are reflecting in the original object also. And as usual, this is not the correct approach. So what are the other options? Okay, so now the other option is to use cloned object JSON.stringify. Okay, let it be deleted, and let's comment it out for a second. Okay, this JSON.stringify, what it does, JSON.stringify converts a JSON or a JavaScript object into a string. Okay, so it will convert this object into a string. Let's console this out. Okay, and okay, let's console this out, and I'll just comment this out, save it, and run it. You see, this is being converted into a string. And if you're confused whether this double brackets are, no, why not it starts with a double bracket, because uh, this console does not really prints the string with double quotations, right? If I'll save this and run this again, you see hello is printed without any double quotation. So this whole thing is a string. Okay, so JSON.stringify converts a object into a string, and JSON.parse. Okay, if you'll see, JSON.parse takes string as an input and it converts that string into JSON. Okay, so what we are doing is we are converting, we are deleting this. So we are converting this object into string through JSON.stringify, and we are converting this string to JSON object through JSON.parse, and we'll assign this to cloned object. Okay, and I'll delete this and I will uncomment this. I'll change it all and I will save this and I'll clean the console. Let's run it. Now you see, so we have changed the channel name, that is Rohit, it is intact. We have changed the first name in the original object, it's Rohit again, that's again intact. We have changed, or we have in fact pushed the dirty value in the video's length, but the original object remained intact. And that's the correct way to deep copy the object in JavaScript. But if you are further asked that if there is any exception to this JSON.parse, I mean the way we did that. So see, JSON.stringify object, there is a certain limitation with this approach also. So, well, this is called deep copy. What is being done here through JSON.parse, this is in fact deep copy. But the exception is that JSON.stringify does not convert the properties to string if the values are undefined. So let's say I'll say this as undefined. Okay, and I'll save this and I'll try to run this. You see, there is no last name, although the last is being declared as undefined. The last property is lost at all in the cloned object, so it does not entertain the keys with the value of undefined. And JSON.stringify only convert these data types into strings. So anything apart from this is not being stringified. So for example, let's say we have a greet function or greet property basically that has the value with arrow function as let's say console.log hey. Okay, I'll say this. So this will not be converted by stringify method. So let's see, I'll clean the console, I'll run it, and you see there's a greet property, but since it is not a valid type to be stringified according to JSON, so that's why this greet property is lost at all in the cloned object. And this is the exception to this way of deep cloning object. But if you are further asked that if there is any another way we can have a deep clone, then definitely yes. up till up till here, if you are answering everything, then that means you know the basics, you know the fundamentals. But if you are asked that is there any way, so yeah, there is a third party library called as Lodash, and through that there is a method called as deep clone, through which you can deep copy the object. And yeah, that's all about this video, and thank you so much.